Hi everyone, my name is Jason King. I'm here today to present my career field research paper on a few of the pursued careers that I want to finish up as college and careers. My main one's going to be IT project management. My second one would be human resource management, and my third would be a sales manager. Since I live quite far away, I have to do this with some family members. Just because I'm a little bit far away and it's hard to get to school since I work a lot and do all that kind of stuff. So who's here today with me to listen to me would be...
This is Grandma.
My grandma Babe. She's going to be here to listen to me, make sure I do pretty well. And then I have my little cousin, Abby, here to do that as well. And then my aunt will be back here pretty soon to help listen as well. For starters, I'm going to do a little bit of brief summary of all of my pursued careers, tell you a little bit about detail about all the other ones. It's going to take a little bit, 8 to 10 minutes on that, but what I'm going to try is I'm going to short it out a little bit so you can understand what it is. For starters, I'm going to start with IT project management. A summary that I think project management is plan, initiate, and manage information technological projects, being able to lead and guide the work of technical staff, also being able to serve as a liaison between business and technical aspects of projects. Lastly, being able to monitor progress to assure deadlines, standards, cost targets are met. And I got that off onetonline.com. It's a brief summary of what this job actually entails. A few of the tasks there's many tasks in order to be a project manager. So I picked out a few that I thought was important to me. One of those being manage project execution to ensure adherence to budget, schedule, and scope. So when you're a project manager, you have to be able to know what your budget is, just because you're doing certain different kind of projects. Also, being able to develop or update project plans for information technology projects, including information such as project objectives, technologies, systems, information specifications, schedules, funding, and staffing. And lastly, the last one that I thought was pretty important for a project manager would be prepare project status reports by collecting, analyzing, and summarizing information and trends. I feel like those are the most important ones that I thought of when looking at the tasks. There's numerous of other tasks, but I feel like these ones are the ones that you have to look at being a project manager. Knowledge. You have to know a lot when being a project manager because you're at the top of the line, having to teach, plan, and do a whole bunch of different projects. Some of the knowledge would be administration and management, meaning knowledge of business and management principles involved in strategic planning, resource allocation, human resources modeling, leadership technique, production methods, and coordination of people and resources. Also, another knowledge you would need as a project manager is definitely customer and personal service. Meaning, if you don't know what that means, it's knowledge of principles and processes for providing customer and personal services. This includes customer needs assessment, meeting quality standards for services, and evaluation of customer satisfaction. So just me working in retail at Best Buy, I get very, very good compliments and like prizes for having good customer service, and I feel like that's the most important quality in being any type of retail or sales manager or project manager, because you want the manufacturers, the customers to love you in order for your business to succeed. Another knowledge you would need to know is management of personal resources. Motivating, developing, and directing people as they work, identifying the best people for the job. You want the best people to do the harder stuff, but you also want to be able to develop and teach those ones that are below to be able to get to the top where all those other ones are, so your business will succeed. And lastly, system analysis, determining on how a system should work and how changes in conditions, operations, and the environment affect outcomes. So I feel like there's a lot of knowledge you need to know about being an IT project manager, just because it's a lot of technology, but it's also being able to adhere to what a project manager needs to be able to do. A few of the abilities in being a project manager would be oral comprehension. So you got to be able to listen and understand information, ideas presented through spoken words and sentences. You got to be able to know what people are actually saying, what people actually want you to do. Also speech recognition, that's a huge one. The ability to identify and understand the speech of another person. That's huge. It's just active listening. Once you listen to somebody, you'll be able to tell them or ask them questions, but also being able to answer the questions as well. Speech clarity, that's another big one. The ability to speak clearly so others can understand you. I feel like I have been in retail Best Buy where managers ask me to do things and I can't clarify or understand what they're talking about. Also, information ordering, the ability to arrange things or actions in a certain order or pattern according to a specific rule or a set of rules. Patterns of numbers, letter, words, pictures, or mathematical operations are all important abilities you need to know as a project manager. Some of the work environment and work activities for a project manager, there's a lot you do as a project manager in general. There's a few activities that I thought were going to be the most important, and one that I feel like is really important is organizing, planning, and prioritizing work. So being able to develop specific goals and plans to prioritize, organize, and accomplish your work. It's huge in order for your business to succeed, or whatever project you want to succeed, and do it that way. Communicating with supervisors, peers, and subordinates. If there's no communication with your employees or coworkers as a project manager, your project's not going to succeed. It's just going to go down the drain, and you're going to waste a lot of money just because the communication's not strong. Scheduling work and activities. Scheduling events, programs, and activities, as well as the work of others. So you want the people who you schedule to be one of your top of the line so you get your project done and get paid. That's pretty much what it is as a project manager. Coordinating the work and activities of others is pretty self-explanatory, but making decisions and solving problems, analyzing information, and evaluating results to choose the best solution and solve problems. It's huge. Some of the education to be a project manager, definitely a bachelor's degree. You will not get a job as a project manager unless you have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and then you work your way up with experience. It would be good to have a master's degree, just so you have that edge over some others, but experience is a huge quality for any type of job nowadays. So I feel like that would be the most important. The wages, the median wage right now for a project manager is $39.01 hourly, or $81,140 per year annually. So it's a huge increase. So your job outlook is very well off. Next, I would like to talk about a human resource manager. This would be my second job I'd want to pursue over any of the other ones, just because I feel like being in sales and shadowing my human resource manager at Best Buy has made me like it a lot more. I feel like being a lead as in retail is kind of like human resources, because you get to go into hiring different individuals for different jobs, and that's kind of nice for me to be able to learn that way. For the summary of a human resource manager would be to plan, direct, or coordinate human resource activities and staff of an organization. And I'll get into a little bit more of that with the tasks, abilities, and work activities, so you kind of know what human resources manager actually does. Some of the tasks that I thought were pretty important for human resources is definitely plan, organize, direct, control, or coordinate the personnel, training, or labor relations activities of an organization. Also administer compensation, benefits, and performance management systems, and safety and recreation programs. And lastly, perform difficult staffing duties, including dealing with understaffing, refereeing disputes, firing employees, and administering disciplinary procedures. So as a human resource manager, you're always in the back office, looking and hiring and firing employees, the compensation, you get to do all the pay and all that other fun stuff. And I feel like I could do that, but also I don't feel like I could sit just in a cubicle or an office by just doing that. So that's why I chose this as a second career. Next, knowledge. The knowledge of a human resource manager. Definitely personnel and human resources. Knowledge of principles and procedures for personal recruitment, selection, training, compensation and benefits, labor relations, negotiation, and personal information systems. That's just a key for any human resource manager, general, specialist. You got to know that. Also, administration and management. Knowledge of business and management principles involved in strategic planning, resource allocation, human resource modeling, leadership technique, production methods, and coordination of people and resources. Also, again, just like a project manager, customer and personal service. If you don't have that, you can't be a project manager or a human resource manager, because that's a key in order to be a good manager, is customer and personal service. And lastly, for human resources, which I feel like is the most important, is knowing the law and government, because you got to be able to know the different laws. The legal codes, court procedures, precedents, government regulations, execute orders, agency rules, and the democratic political process, because you deal with the sexual harassment, you deal with all of the types of harassment that are in the work field, so you've got to know the different laws of what's good and what's bad as a human resource manager. Some of the skills that I feel like are important in being a human resource manager is definitely active listening. You have to be able to listen to different employees or coworkers or supervisors that come in and to you and tell you if something's wrong or something like that. You got to be able to listen and adapt to what they're telling you. Speaking, so you got to be able to talk and let them know different things, but also coordination, adjusting actions in relation to others' actions, judgment and decision making, and negotiation, bringing others together and trying to reconcile differences. You know, like it's huge, because if you can't do that, you're going to have employees that just fight or just yell at each other, and then your workplace is not a place to be at. Some of the work activities that you do as a human resource manager is communicating with supervisors, peers, or subordinates, providing information to supervisors, coworkers, and subordinates by telephone, in written form, email, or in person. Also resolving conflicts and negotiating with others, like I stressed earlier, handling complaints, settling disputes and resolving grievances and conflicts, or otherwise negotiating with others. You can't do that as a human resource manager. You can't be a human resource manager because that does happen a lot in the work field, no matter what type of job. You're going to have conflicts with other employees. Also making decisions and solving problems, analyzing information and evaluating results to choose best solutions and solve problems. Lastly, or second to lastly, education. In order to be a human resource manager, you have to have a bachelor's degree, no matter what. Also, it'd be nice to have a master's degree in human resources, but also to be a human resource manager, you have to have years of experience as a human resource, anything, generalist, specialist. They go from up to human resource manager. So in order to do that, you have to be able to have the experience of that. The wages for a human resource manager, it's $47.94 hourly. And $99,720 annually per year. So for the job outlook for that, looks very nice. But like it's a lot of hard work. In order to come to that level, you got to work your way up in order to do that. Lastly, I would like to talk about a sales manager. I feel like this one is one that I've been, it's not something I'd want to do, just because retail isn't something I enjoy doing, because you don't get to see your family very often. But as a sales manager, I'm very good with retail, I'm very good with customers, and I'm very good with product knowledge. At Best Buy, I'm one of the best, and it's nice to have that. To be a sales manager, I've already got talked to being up as a supervisor. So for a summary report of a sales manager, it's plan, direct, or coordinate the actual distribution or movement of a product or service to a customer. Best Buy is a prime example of that. Some of the tasks that I thought that were important as a sales manager would be resolve customer complaints regarding sales and services. Best Buy, I see this a lot. I deal with this with a lot because I'm a sales lead. It's hard when customers come back and are mad. I won't deny that, but being able to talk to them and resolve their problems, they will come back and talk to you, and they'll enjoy coming back and getting your business. Also, directing and coordinating activities involving sales and manufactured products, services, commodities, real estate, or other subjects of sale. Confer with potential customers regarding equipment needs and advise customers on types of equipment to purchase. Huge qualities as a sales manager, you need to be able to do that. Regardless of any, a sales manager at Best Buy, he's good, but I don't feel like he knows how to conduct the resolving customer complaints as well as he probably should have as a general manager. Knowledge of being a sales manager is definitely sales and marketing. Being able to know the principles and methods for showing, promoting, selling products or services. This includes marketing strategy, tactics, product demonstration, sales techniques, and sales control systems. Also, customer and personal service. Every single one of these jobs that I've picked, you have to have customer and personal service. No matter what, as a manager, if you don't have that, you won't be able to do that. Also, administration and management. Knowledge of business and management principles involved in strategic planning, resource allocation, human resources modeling, leadership technique, production methods, and coordination of people and resources. Also, like I stressed earlier, education and training. You need to be able to educate and train new employees to what you know of product knowledge, but also being able to do sales with customers. You got to be able to talk to customers. You got to be able to make them feel like they're at home when you're in their store, because if they leave unhappy, they're not going to come back. That's one customer you lose for business. And then it gets around in the area that Best Buy, their customer service stinks. But if you have good customer service skills, that won't happen. And that's one of the qualities I have. Some of the skills in order to be a sales manager is definitely speaking, because you speak with a lot of customers every single day. Being able to convey messages. Also persuasion. Persuading others to change their minds of behavior. I feel like persuading a customer into a sell is not the right thing to do. You want to be able to persuade the customer into wanting to buy the product or why they want to buy the product. It has to be something they love in order to do that. Also, critical thinking, using logic and reasoning to identify the strengths and weaknesses of alternative solutions, conclusions, or approaches to the problems. Some of the work activities you do as a sales manager is selling or influencing others. That's pretty self-explanatory. Communicating with supervisors, peers, or subordinates. Guiding, directing, and motivating subordinates, and developing and building teams. And lastly, I want to talk about education. Again, you do need a bachelor's degree. Would be nice to have a master's degree, and you do need sales experience in order to be a sales manager. Any of these jobs I picked, you do need a bachelor's degree in order to work your way up to one of those. And lastly, the wages. For a sales manager, it's $50.60 hourly, or $105,260 annually. But like I said, you got to work your way up, and it takes years to do that, depending on what business you're in. And that is all for the jobs that I persuade. I did talk a lot more in detail in my paper of the different qualities that I feel are most important to me. And I chose IT project manager as the one I'm going to pursue. And I hope I can do that by getting my master's degree. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you.